The British intelligence services often focus on the creation of alters in their mind controlled subjects. Indeed, as I've stated before, many of the lower level operatives of British intelligence are themselves put under mind control when they join the intelligence services. Indeed, many people are tapped to join the intelligence services without realizing they are joining the intelligence services. And even many of those who do so willingly are put under mind control by the Nazi fetishist and direct mind control programming networks of the elites of the British intelligence services. Indeed, much of this programming focuses on the creation of alters. Indeed, many British intelligence operatives believe themselves to be the this is the higher level British intelligence operatives. Many of them believe themselves to be descended from Egyptian pharaohs, and in their programming, they program the candidates that they are fond of with Nazi programming, i.e., they program them with the alters of prominent SS officers, and the candidates who do something wrong in the initial training are usually programmed with Hebrew concentration camp alters, and thereby British intelligence plays a fetishistic game whereby the Nazi programmed recruits persecute the recruits programmed as Hebrew concentration camp victims. Indeed, I went through a strange process of programming, and I haven't yet identified the alters that I was programmed with. Indeed, I underwent a degree of Nazi programming. However, I was never programmed to basically imitate a prominent Nazi SS officer. Indeed, my role was to be a patsy, basically. Indeed, I was simply to spout the ideology that I had been programmed with by British intelligence for an overall agenda that would take time to manifest. Indeed, I'm still sketchy on the details of the programming that I underwent. However, I can be confident in the fact that it certainly did. Indeed, the networks of British intelligence enjoy testing their mind control programming mechanisms on the schizophrenic population. Indeed, as I've stated, many mental patients in psychiatric hospitals are themselves former British intelligence operatives. I say former, but they're technically still used as assets, so they are continuing to be British intelligence operatives. Even if they have whistleblown, they are still vulnerable to programming by British intelligence and thereby continue to be British intelligence operatives. Other than that, mental patients in the hospitals who are not technically British intelligence operatives, many of them are part of the wider British intelligence agenda because they are to be used for programming and as guinea pigs by the British intelligence cryptocracy. who are testing as many techniques of mind control programming as they possibly can in view of the creation of their technocratic order as blueprinted by the Bavarian Illuminati in the 1770s. Indeed, the Bavarian Illuminati themselves were engaged in much experimentation with the human brain. Indeed, the Bavarian Illuminati used to purchase poor children from families struggling economically and basically create a hole in the skull of these children and mess about with the brain while these children were still conscious in an attempt by the Bavarian Illuminati networks, who were appendages of British intelligence, to harness the life force of these vulnerable children. Indeed, this was part of a wider intelligence agenda that took in the early psychiatry networks, such as the Mad Housekeepers Guild, who I've mentioned before, who were themselves a construct of British, Prussian, and Bavarian intelligence services. Indeed, it seems that this network actually spawned the Bavarian Illuminati, and not only were the functions of the Bavarian Illuminati to engage in the fermentation of the French Revolution, they were also to experiment on the mind. Indeed, the networks of British intelligence are obsessed with mind control and the creation of alters in their subjects. Indeed, even many of the higher level operatives have been programmed in some way with alters, and there are code books that, if a foreign intelligence operative is able to get hold of one of these code books, they can then mind control a British intelligence operative that has been originally mind controlled by programmers from British intelligence. And this causes a rather strange situation. Indeed, I believe several foreign intelligence agencies tapped into my programming over the years, including the Serbian, Russian, and Israeli intelligence services, all of which seem to have manipulated my programming at various points. So it's all a rather interesting situation. Indeed, British intelligence seem to enjoy dividing themselves as Egyptians and Hebrews in one context, and as Nazis and Hebrews in another context. Indeed, many of the British intelligence operatives who are deemed as Hebrews and programmed as either Hebrew slaves or Hebrew concentration camp victims are usually part of the disposable elements of British intelligence. And many of these are the ones that end up in psychiatric hospitals, as they are treated so badly by the service, they threaten to whistleblow on the service and are thereby placed in psychiatric hospitals. Indeed, British intelligence do like to burn their own operatives. However, these Hebrew programmed operatives are still an asset, and therefore the British intelligence services prefer to place the Hebrew programmed mind controlled operatives into psychiatric hospitals so that they can use them again in the future, rather than killing them. Indeed, although I underwent Nazi fetishist programming, I was never programmed as a Nazi SS officer. Therefore, I was not conditioned to become part of the British intelligence elite strata. Indeed, I was merely a tool. Indeed, it was more likely that at some point in my programming, I was programmed as a Hebrew slave or a Hebrew concentration camp victim, and therefore was considered a disposable part of the British intelligence structure. Disposable to an extent, as they do not seem to want to kill me, and however wish to use me in future operations. Indeed, I have surmised that British intelligence wish to use me as a patsy to either bring on the war with Russia conflagration or the hybrid UK Civil War conflagration, not to necessarily bring it on single-handedly, but to cause a sequence of events whereby these events could be brought on, perhaps in conjunction with the utilization by the British intelligence services of maybe 50 or 60 mind controlled operatives who would be programmed to behave in a similar fashion to me, and thereby the activities of these 50 or 60 psychiatric patient mind controlled British intelligence operatives would be pointed at by the intelligence services as some sort of activity on behalf of Russia, or would be twisted to create the conditions for a hybrid UK civil war. Indeed, the British intelligence, as I've stated in a video quite a while ago, have a project whereby they have a network of mind controlled female sex slaves whose fertilized eggs they harvest, and this is known as the Royal Arch Genome Project. And the idea of the Royal Arch Genome Project is to create a super race, effectively, utilizing genetic strains of various SS bloodlines mixed with British aristocracy. Indeed, the idea of this is to create a kind of Nazi overman, effectively, and these specially bred people in the Royal Arch Genome Project will assume certain positions in the British intelligence structure and aristocratic circles, ready for the technocratic order blueprinted by the Bavarian Illuminati in the 1770s. Indeed, it's all interconnecting, and the nefarious deeds of British intelligence are also echoed in the activities of the Deutsche Verteidigungsdienst. The Deutsche Verteidigungsdienst has very similar programs operating. Indeed, the British intelligence and Deutsche Verteidigungsdienst networks at times would seem to be in competition, but at other times seem completely unified in their goals. And it does seem that there is a rather prominent streak of Nazi fetishism within the British intelligence services. And this general atmosphere pervades the British intelligence services. Indeed, as I've stated before, the Director General of MI6 is a Banderist operative of the Deutsche Verteidigungsdienst. Indeed, Blaise Metrovelli is the daughter of Konstantin Dobrovolsky, who was a Banderist operative of the networks of Reinhard Gehlen. And this therefore shows the influence not only of the Deutsche Verteidigungsdienst within British intelligence, but also the outright Nazi fetishism of the British intelligence services. And their obsession with Hebrews is continuing and is prominent in their ideologies, and indeed they seem to have a strange attitude towards the Hebrews and have programmed many of them to operate for the British intelligence services. Indeed, much of the political Zionist class operates as a semi-autonomous entity for British intelligence and has done for a couple of 100 years. Indeed, as I've also stated, much of the Mossad and Shin Bet are under the control of the Deutsche Verteidigungsdienst, so it's all quite complex. Indeed, I'm going to leave it there.